Eat Radio is brought to you in part by
Roscoe's on 7th is the only gay sports bar in Arizona. For more information, log on to roscoeson7th.com.
You're listening to Compete Radio with your host, Josh Fourier. Sports News Brief with Buddy Early. Alfonso Chavez with Sports Pop. The conservative voice, Eric Carlisle. And resident straight lady, Connie Wardman.
Thank you very much, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Josh Fourier, here with Alfonso, Buddy, Connie, and Eric. Alfonso, welcome back. I have missed you.
I'm so glad to be back.
I'm so glad you're back, too. I had to do Sports Pop last week, and that is it's a lot of research, a lot of work. It's incredible. You and Buddy here, you guys with your news and Sports Pop, and now it looks like we're all getting involved. There's Connie and Eric finding stories of their own.
Really?
Yeah, you guys, that's a lot of work. So I hand it to you. I'm glad you're back. I'm not looking forward
I have to say, when Alfonso was out sick last week, I had a lot of extra leg room in the studio because he sits next to me. Now I'm not so much.
Actually, I don't think that's ever been a concern of yours since I was at the edge of the table and you had most of it.
You don't know how I like to spread out.
Yeah.
Don't touch
that I can
one.
smell it right now.
So, Alfonso, how was last week with your day off?
It was nice. I needed to rest up from having done Pat's run.
Oh, yeah.
Which seemed like 100% uphill.
Well, good for you. That's a big deal.
I'm glad I did it.
Did you hurt the next day?
No, it was the day after that I hurt.
Oh, okay. Here's Sports Pop.
This is Sports Pop.
All right, so what do we got this week, guys? And lady.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Josh.
Can I quickly just tell a little story about what happened? I found another sports connection with RuPaul's Drag Race.
Of course you do.
My gosh.
So Logo, who's one of our partners, does this blog party
Yes.
while RuPaul's Drag Race is on, and I've been going on there, and I ended up making a new friend yesterday with Alex.
On Monday?
Yes, on Monday, excuse me. She is, I made this new friend. Her name is Alexis Gentry. She's the founder of Trashwire, and she's the daughter of Phoenix Suns coach Alvin Gentry. So
Nice.
if
Pray
she,
tell, what is Trashwire?
it's a pop culture type
All right.
website, movies, news, entertainment, that type of thing.
So it's like trash talk gossip.
So yeah, it's
Kind of like a
gossip
Perez
site.
Hilton, except better, I hope.
It's Trashwire. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have a new friend in a Phoenix Suns coach's daughter.
Very cool.
Very nice. Moving up in
I'm
the
impressed.
celebrity status.
Yeah, somebody cares who I am now.
What are you now? D-list? C-list?
F plus. I think I'm F plus.
Oh, go ahead.
Connie has been sipping on her Dayquil. She's-
No, actually, I was just feeling sorry for Alfonso, poor baby.
Oh, I'm not.
Okay.
All right. So what's going on this week in Sports Pop?
I'm going to talk because I just got an email from somebody.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Isn't this exciting?
Is it about
Yes.
enlarging your penis size? Because don't open that.
Actually,
Is this a segue into one of our advertisements?
Oh, my God.
there is a family member of mine has recently been in a car wreck in the Cape of Africa.
You
And
better send them money right away.
I have $25 million in an account there.
For those of you who don't know, Eric is African American because he was born in Morocco, right?
How's it feel? What was the old movie where, wasn't it Steve Martin that was the white guy in the black family?
The jerk.
Comedy movie?
The jerk.
Yeah, I think that was it.
I love me some beef jerky. But don't we all want to hear what the reader said?
Yes,
And this
by
is
all
very
means.
Sports Pop related,
So
too.
do you have a wire going through this morning for $25 million?
All I had to do was send them $3,000
That seems reasonable.
because they're going to send it all in cash, and it's
Yeah.
a big box
Oh,
to
well,
send.
yeah.
There's a whole process to this. I've been through it.
Shipping costs and handling, yeah.
Actually, they were asking, this is a great question, Eric, are you good friends with Lamar and Chloe? From Lamar and Chloe on...
It's a natural question because for people to assume you would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unlike Alfonso, I'm on the D- list. So, I'm really close to getting Kathy Griffin's phone number to call her and see if she wants to be on the show. So that's getting pretty up there, right?
I would say so. Her show was canceled, though.
Or Oh,
She's
really?
now on the E list.
She's
Is
on
that-
the canceled list.
Call us Chelsea Handler, please. Anyway, I just want to talk about the craziness around that Lamar and Chloe show.
Now, for
So
those of
what's
us
going
that
on
don't
with
know,
that?
I don't know
I
either.
don't
I'm kind of
watch
winging it here.
well, let's back up. For those of us that don't know what Lamar and Chloe is, what is it?
Well, first off, everyone knows who Lamar and Chloe is, Josh. That's my first step. It's a show on E that debuted a few weeks ago to 2.6 million viewers, starring everyone's favorite Khloe Kardashian.
This is
Oh,
the second
yes.
season, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it's the second season, actually.
They have so many different Kardashian shows. You have to have like an encyclopedia to tell which is
Oh,
which. So I don't
gosh.
know. Anyway, but it also
It's like Law and Order.
it also stars Lamar Odom, who's a player on the LA Lakers. And what's interesting about this is that whole family's. Y'all know I love Bruce Jenner, right?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you do, in fact, yes.
Yeah.
That whole family is a tad crazy, though.
Actually, I think Bruce Jenner's pretty darn awesome myself.
Thank you.
You look so unhappy that I said that, but go ahead.
Well, why I'm glad they brought this up to is that they have 2.6 million viewers, which is I think that's like 0.1 more million viewers than we have. So
Yeah.
I mean, the
For a
numbers-
cable
It's
network,
a radio
yeah.
show.
I think 2.6
Hello?
million viewers for an E show is actually pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
quite
The
good.
numbers are good.
But what's interesting is this year they just renewed all the Kardashian contracts on the different. Are they only on E? I think on E.
Yeah.
And just to show up an event, the mother, Kris Kardashian, gets like $125,000.
Oh my word.
Yet they did an episode of the Kardashians where she couldn't get a ticket to a Lakers game.
Oh, right.
So my question is what kind of son-in-law is Lamar Odom if he can't get his mom his mother-in-law a Lakers ticket when they usually pay her $125,000? Again, comparing it to ours, that's half what we charge, but still,
Sure.
that's 5 of us. It's only $25,000.
Maybe they wouldn't give her a ticket because she expected $125,000 once she was there.
Good point.
Oh, okay.
You guys know that I'm usually
So
really.
are Chloe and Lamar married? I thought
Yeah,
this was a
they
dating
got
thing.
married like last year,
Oh.
and they did a whole special Keeping Up with the Kardashians episode about their
So-
I'm
wedding.
so behind.
So they're not living in sin.
Well, I'm kind of on the same wavelength as Connie because
Yeah.
you guys know I'm really late when it comes to like the E News personalities and
Right.
the pop culture people and the Paris Hiltons of the world and that kind of thing. Like for that whole first season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Well, I like your name better. Kicking
it.
Yeah.
I honestly had no idea who they were, and I thought they were like it was like a Star Trek show or something.
Well, you
Well,
know,
it was.
It's, I was actually a very big Kardashian addict. That's
Really?
Kardashian plus fanatic. I just made it up right now.
Well, I
Everybody
just,
had a
Good
pink
for you.
Bentley.
Yeah,
Kardashian
you know,
addict?
I watched, Chloe and Kim take Miami and all the other offshoots, but I just have gotten too busy with this show and working at Compete Sports Media that I don't.
I just
have
got a
time to
sports
do it
Twitter
anymore.
or tweet. This is for you, buddy. Who's taller, Khloe Kardashian or her husband, Lamar Odom?
Yeah, I think he's at least a foot taller than her. He's like 6'9" or 6'10".
I thought she was like 7'5".
And I saw her. I figured out who she was this week because she earlier this week was a guest star on Law and Order Los Angeles, playing herself in
And she
a
wasn't even very
good
good at that.
2-minute
Well,
scene.
she's actually my favorite of the Kardashians. Well, aside from Rob, but he's never on.
They
so.
had her boxing too in the scene. I don't know if that's something because she was
That's
playing
sports related.
herself.
That brings it right to topic.
And
Thank
I
you,
don't.
buddy.
Yes.
Interesting thing though, it just come out in the last couple of weeks that a lot of Lamar Odom's teammates, I don't know, a lot, some, whatever, have been kind of critical of this show. Like, why are you doing this?
Because
it's a
they
joke.
pay him.
Well, the Lakers pay him too.
Yeah.
But they're like, you know what? Why are you doing this kind of joke of a reality show? We're professional basketball players. Is that really what we want as a team for a teammate? And they've been kind of critical in the public.
And his answer was?
I don't
I'm
think
not
he's
going to be a
answered.
basketball player forever, so I better bring money in while I can.
What I
Good
really
answer.
like, what I really like about the show is that it does bring light to sports, and a lot of gay people watch the Kardashians. So I think that Khloe and Lamar are actually sports pioneers, just like all of us here at
Wow,
Compete
Eric,
Radio.
that started out as kind of a really salient point. And
It is a good point, isn't
like
it?
that.
We want them on the show.
And it went downhill quickly.
oh, wow. Okay. So that is Chloe and what's the name of the show?
Chloe and Lamar.
Chloe and Lamar on E Entertainment Television. We need to take a quick break, but we'll be right back in about 90 seconds. Log on to CompeteRadio.com for news, information, hot topics, and more. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us. Thank you very much and welcome back. I'm your host, Josh Fourier. On the line with us right now is Michael Losier. Michael, welcome to the show.
Hey, Josh. How are things?
Things are well. Well, that wasn't much of an introduction, was it? Can you tell us a little bit about why you're on the show, what you do, who you are?
Well, I'm a friend of Eric Carlisle, and Eric is heavily involved in sports media, and he was practicing the techniques that I teach in my book called Law of Attraction. And he was starting to understand how he could attract good things and why he was attracting negative things. And he's the kind of guy that just picks up the book and looks at the back and calls the author directly. And he did that with me.
Now,
we had a good conversation and told me how much he liked my book. And since then, I've been coming to Phoenix on probably 2 or 3 times a year, delivering seminars and book signings and having lots of fun. I've met lots of great people in Phoenix, and there's lots of people following my materials about how to stop attracting negative things and start attracting things that you do want.
So, law of attraction is a real thing. Can you tell us what law of attraction is?
Yes. Well, the word law of attraction is, although it's new for a lot of people, the experience isn't new. For example, every time I would say, "Wow, Josh, this is such a coincidence. I was just thinking of you." Or when something came to you out of the blue, or everything falls into place. Or sometimes people call it serendipity or synchronicity or fate or karma. There's lots of words that we use.
So let me ask you, here's just a quick example. I just want to see if I experienced law of attraction. So there's this old email address. I haven't checked it in years and years and years. I also haven't talked to the best friend that I grew up with for years and years and years. I thought randomly, and I don't know why, but one day I thought, okay, I'm going to log into this email address and see what's there. Literally an hour before I logged into this email address, my best friend had emailed me.
Right.
Would that be an example of law of attraction?
Well, it would be. And what it is the matching of life vibrations. Now, I'm going to use the word vibration. It might not be new for everybody, or it could be new for everybody, but the word vibration, we use the vibe. Now, on sports teams, they get together. There's a vibe that's going on. Either everyone's sad or disappointed or ticked off, or people are pretty excited or pumped up, right? That vibe equals the mood or the feeling that they're having. When a team is really defeated, what's the vibe of that team?
Everyone is miserable. They're disappointed.
Yeah, they're snapping at each other. They're ticked off. They're starting to get rage. They're not focusing, right?
Yeah, that's me.
And when the team is doing well, they have a positive vibe. So right now, you and I have this vibe. We don't even, I can't touch it and I can't taste it. I can't even prove it to you. But we're putting off a vibe right now that's matching the feelings, and it's a negative vibe or a positive vibe. And law of attraction, which is what we're talking about right now, is this energy around us. I can't prove it, but I'm going to teach people how to use it deliberately. I can't prove it, but I can tell you how it works, and then you can get your own proof.
Okay, so what kind of vibe? What kind of vibe do we have right now?
I don't know. We could check our vibrational meters to tell us. Do you know what our vibrational meter reader is?
No, but I'm all about it. Let's do it.
We can tell by how we feel. If we're irritated right now, then they're sending a negative vibration. If we're excited and feeling good about this, we're sending a positive vibration. And that's what's really easy about law of attraction. There's only 2 kinds of vibes, positive ones and negative ones. And right now, everybody has one. And here's why you need to know. Law of attraction is responding. It's this energy around us. It's responding to the vibe that you're sending or putting out by matching it.
Now, what if you are in your life currently, like let's say right here and now? What if in your life you're having things that are going on, you're upset about quite a few things, but you're also happy about things? Like right now, I'm stressed to the max on a lot of things going on, but speaking with you right now, I'm in a great mood. I'm enjoying our conversation. What does that mixture of emotions do to life?
Well, it's interesting because they're not mixing at the same time. You can only hold one vibration at a time. So as you're having this uplifting conversation, which is what you're kind of saying, your vibes are higher, you cannot hold the lower vibration that you're having. And the lower vibration that people have, or that you said you were having, is a result of the thoughts and the words that you're processing and the reality, right? So as you're thinking about stuff, you're sending a negative vibration. this conversation, you can only hold one at a time. So right now, you're choosing to have a positive vibration.
Okay.
I want you to remember the rule. Law of attraction has a job description. It's only 2 words long. The job description is match vibrations. Law of attraction is energy. It doesn't have a brain or it doesn't have a consciousness. It's responding to the vibe that you're sending out right now.
Okay.
I want to tell a story. I coached, well, it's a true story. I coached a football team here in Victoria, BC. It's a high school team. They were just having a bad run of luck, you know. And now that we understand about law of attraction, we can know that that's based on the last time they lost, which is based on the last time they lost. And what happens is that in between the coach and all the players, before the game, they're not excited. You know what they're doing? They're talking about their last loss and their last experience. And when they do that, they're sending the vibration of the conversation that they're having.
So they're setting themselves up to fail from the beginning.
Through the vibration, yes.
Okay.
And then when they're in the huddle, they're talking about what they all did wrong instead of talking about what they did well. Here's what's really important. The words we use and the thoughts we think cause us to send a vibration. So when you're losing, if you keep getting that attention, you could be sending more negative vibration. So our job here is to shift or reset the vibe, just like a reset button. I want to reset my vibe so I can reset the experience that I'm having. Fear is always based on the future. It's always a thought that you're thinking about the future. So stay out of the future then. Or if you're going to go to the future, have a better thought about it.
Well, what happens if you maintain this positive? You're observing the law of attraction and how it works, and you're maintaining this positive mindset, and then stuff just keeps happening. It keeps bringing you back down. What do you do with that?
Yes. Well, first thing you need to do is understand that the reason why you're attracting anything, whether it's negative or positive, is a result of vibe that you're sending. I want to tell you that there's 3 words in our vocabulary that whenever we use them causes us to attract negative things. You're looking for a quick fix, right? This is it. If we eliminate these 3 words, it stops us from giving negative attention to something. Remember, when I give something my negative attention, if I'm complaining about something, am I giving it negative attention? Yes.
Of course.
If I'm worrying about something, yes.
Yep.
If I'm thinking about last week's game and how bad that was, am I giving it attention? Yes. Every moment I'm giving something attention, and that's the results that I'm getting. Here's the 3 words. Whenever you use these 3 words, it causes you to give attention to what you don't want to give attention to. And most people use them about 300 times before noon, and I'm quite certain that sports players use them on the way to the game and during the game. These 3 words cause you to attract negative things. Here they are. Don't, not, that's N-O-T, and no. Don't, not, and no. Well, that sounds pretty. So we're going to be law of attraction, and I want you to do what I'm giving attention to when I say, I don't want this to be difficult. What did I give attention to?
Don't.
I said don't, but what did I give attention to when I said I don't want this to be difficult?
Difficult.
Yeah. I don't want this to hurt.
Hurt.
I don't want to lose. Don't slam the door. Don't drink and drive. Don't have sex. Don't get your clothes dirty. Don't spill milk. Don't talk back to your mother. I don't want to play phone tag. I don't want to attract negative people.
So really it sounds like...
If you go to the internet and type in what you don't want, guess what? You'll get it.
Yeah.
Go to the internet and type in no football and see what shows up. The internet is like the universe. Whenever I talk about what I don't want, I just gave it attention, energy, and focus, and I'll attract more of it. You're not sure what I mean? Go to the internet and type in no football. When you type in what you don't want, that's the results that you get.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Michael, we have about a minute left. I want you to tell me where you're going to be, where we can go and see you in person, and we can get that education.
I'm going to give my website address, and on there there's a seminars section, but I am coming to Tempe on May 6th, a couple Fridays from now. I'm doing a 2.5-hour seminar. I'm just looking at the tickets. They're only like $29 for 3 hours, 2.5 hours of me. It's pretty exciting.
Awesome.
It is in Tempe. The website address is lawofattractionbook.com.
All right, that's lawofattractionbook.com. And come join me in Tempe and learn how to be a deliberate attractor. Learn how you can deliberately attract stuff. All right, if you just
Whether you
joined
like
us,
it or-
we're
Whether
speaking.
you like it or believe it or not, law of attraction is existing in our lives, so we need to learn how to tap into it deliberately.
We've been speaking with Michael Losier. Log on to his website, lawofattractionbook.com. Michael, thank you very much for being on the show today. It's very interesting, this law of attraction. It's definitely worth
Thank
learning
you.
more about. And your tickets are $29. Log on to his website.
That's right.
Once again, that's lawofattractionbook.com. Thanks, Michael. We'll be right back.
This is Sports Pop.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Josh Fourier. If you just joined us, we were speaking with Michael Losier. He is, what's his official title? I know he's a spokesman for Law and Order. I mean, Law of Attraction.
You're thinking of Sam Waterston.
Okay, Michael, your career has now officially tanked.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I just got lightheaded from laughing so hard.
Try law of attraction, Josh.
Okay, go. Let's move on. Okay. Sorry. No, okay, so he is Law of Attraction, but what does he do? He didn't...
He attracts things. He's a magnet man.
I know, but what's his title? Is he like...
I think law of attraction
Author, expert. Okay. Very informative interview. Thank you very much, Michael, for being on the show. Sorry about that. Not Law and Order.
He's also
Let's
been
remind him that we just said
a
that.
radio personality. He was on Oprah's radio network too. So
Yes.
we want to honor him for all his goodies out there.
Yes, I wish we had more time with Michael, but
Yeah.
there's so much sports pop, we just have to move on. I mean, it's just everything in the world is just crazy in sports land. So, Alfonso, what do you have? Welcome back with your segment for sports pop.
Well, what I want to talk about today
Is RuPaul's Drag Race.
No, I already,
No? Okay.
I already got
All
to
right.
talk about how I'm so glad Raja won. What I wanted to talk about a little bit today is we know that there's those athletes out there, those professional athletes that always have some jerk thing to say about gays, about how they don't like gays, how
Oh,
they don't want to play on
surely
a team
you're
with gays.
joking.
Well, on that note, I just want to say I was on. I don't mean to cut you, but cut you off.
Put that knife away, Josh. That's scary looking.
He's going to cut me with his acrylic nail.
Didn't mean to cut you. No, I was on YouTube, and people leave these horrible, hateful comments on there all the time. We know, but there was one comment that said, "Straight men think they're so tough and masculine for putting down gay people,
Mhm.
but the truth is, it takes a bigger man to defend them."
That's
And I
true.
thought that was a beautiful quote
Yeah.
because it is very true.
Actually, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, sometimes we end up finding out that that person is been arrested for violent behavior. You know,
Yes.
the ones that say awful things about
Oh, yeah.
gay people. And we just kind of go, oh, well, not surprised. What do you think, buddy?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, so, so one such...
Anxious to see where this is going.
Yeah,
but
well, one such athlete is Carl Everett. Carl Everett was famously known for having gone on somewhat of a rant in an interview with Maxim magazine back in 2005. Are you familiar with this story?
I'm not.
Okay, well,
That doesn't ring a
Explain
bell
who
with
Carl
me either.
Everett is.
well, Carl Everett is a former Major League Baseball player.
Okay.
He's also an ex-Marine, and in this particular interview, he kind of went on this tirade about Wrigley Field should be blown up, dinosaurs didn't exist, things like that.
Okay.
And
Sarah Palin. should
He
be
was
together.
eating the cookies when he visited Alice in Wonderland, wasn't he?
Something, but one of the comments he made that really inflamed the gay community was this quote where he said, "Gays being gay is wrong."
Okay.
Gays being gay, okay. Anyway, and then he went on to say
Was that an actual quote or did
that
you?
was an actual quote. Gays being gay is wrong.
Okay.
Way to go, whoever
Yeah.
you are.
And then he went on to say, 2 women can't produce a baby, 2 men can't produce a baby, so it's not how it's supposed to be. I don't believe in gay marriage.
But-
I don't believe in being gay. But
Well,
he
that's
didn't.
okay for him, but,
but
he
he-
doesn't get to play God with the rest of the
Well,
world.
When
and-
did they arrest him with a young male prostitute? That's
Yeah.
what I want to know.
Yeah.
He didn't mention anything about straight couples that get married and have no intention of having kids.
Exactly.
But he was also known for saying that if he found out he had a gay teammate, he would immediately quit playing baseball, or quit that team.
Oh, somebody should have given him his walking papers right then and there.
Yeah. So last Monday, he had a dispute with his wife, Linda Everett, and in the dispute, he held a gun to her head.
Oh my!
And he broke 2 phones, one of which was her iPhone, the other of which she was trying to use to make a call for help. Yeah.
Oh no.
She was on Dynasty. She's a pretty big star.
No, Linda Everett.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
Eric is really up on all
Yeah.
this.
So,
Poor Eric.
his wife Linda actually has given him 3 children, and she's been married to him for about 18 years. So, in addition to this domestic dispute, he was also known for not having lasted on any given team for more than 3 years because of his
Attitude.
personality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he couldn't get along with teammates, and it's not just his anti-gay views. It's just he has an abrasive personality all around.
Just like
Yeah,
Buddy.
Exactly.
He just needs a personality transplant, and that would take care of it.
Yeah, but he was nonetheless, he was an all-star, a 2-time all-star, and he had 202 career home runs.
Did he ever explain his reasoning for why he thought it was wrong?
I'm
be
sure
gay.
I'm sure he had some details about it, but I wasn't able to find that actual article in Maxim because
Yeah.
I don't know if they hold their online articles that long. But
And
I
why
found
did they name
other
a mountain
articles.
after him?
Well, for anyone listening who may agree with this athlete,
Everest.
for anyone that might agree with the idea of gay marriage or gay people in general are wrong or sinful or whatever, the institution of marriage, anyone that might feel that way, it's actually my Facebook status. This is what I'd like to tell all of you, and just think about it. Here's my quote from my Facebook. Let me get this straight. Larry King is getting his 8th divorce. Elizabeth Taylor, rest in peace, was married like 9 million times. Britney Spears had a 55-hour marriage. Jesse James and Tiger Woods, while married, were having sex with everyone. Yet the idea of same-sex marriage is going to destroy the institution of marriage. Is that really what people are saying?
I raised
Really?
3 kids, and the whole idea is to have a loving couple who love and support those children. And there is nothing, I think, in the training manual that says it has to be 2 separate sexes to raise and love and nurture a child.
Well, it's getting worse. It's not getting better. We're not making progress. Even our own governor, Jen Brewer, she has just signed this whole adoption
Governor
bill.
in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, governor in Arizona. Sorry, everyone. We're in Phoenix. I know we're all over the nation, but here at home,
We're domiciled here for now.
our statewide politics. Governor Jen Brewer has just signed a bill that's now not just targeting gay and lesbians; it's targeting single people in general. And Senator Sinema, who was on the show last week or the week before, I'm sorry, made it clear that the second largest group of people that adopt are single women.
Yeah.
So what she's done is made it extremely hard and put us, anyone who's single, as second class in order to be able to adopt.
How on earth does that serve the children out there who don't have a home?
Well,
That makes no sense.
What ends up happening is they're stuck in foster care.
Exactly.
There was not to kind of change the subject, I actually wanted to talk
Oh,
a
well,
little bit
go
about
ahead.
Carl Everett,
Yeah.
because one of the things that we do in Compete Radio, Compete Magazine, is we like to encourage the eradication of homophobia in professional sports. That's
Absolutely.
something that's important. And what we see a lot of professional football players who are coming out, I don't know a lot, but it's growing, the trend is growing, coming out in support of equality.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make a blanket generalized statement about baseball players, because compared to football, for example, baseball players are not educated. They come right out of high school, for the most part, majority, more than 50%, come directly out of high school, usually spend a couple years in the minors. A lot of times those are in smaller towns. They're not exposed to a lot. And you end up with these idiots like Carl Everett and John Rocker who make these anti-gay, anti-black, statements.
Anti-women.
Is John
the
Rocker
whole
the one
thing.
from the Braves?
Right, from
Yeah.
about 10,
Yeah.
12 years ago, who made those horrible comments about New York City, about sitting next to some guy on the subway with AIDS, about,
Oh,
an illegal immigrant, all kinds of stuff. And that's why, football players, get this bad rap for being dumb jocks, but
Yeah.
football players are actually more educated than their counterparts
That's
in
a-
basketball and baseball, because they go to college for longer. They're exposed to more culture. They're exposed to more ideas.
And more different types of people.
And
Yeah. That's a really interesting comment, buddy.
Baseball players generally do not have that education and exposure to society.
world at
The
large.
rest of the
Yeah.
world does, yeah. So.
Wow, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how true that is, but I can imagine a lot of people would be offended by that kind of
Possibly.
comment.
If Buddy
I
says
really-
it, it's true.
No, I mean
Come on.
it is. Probably a lot of people would disagree with me, but they can't argue with me on
Yeah.
the point. But they might say that I'm wrong, and that's fine. But
Yeah.
it's my opinion.
Well, he's on something like that. Buddy is absolutely sacrosanct. If he's making a prediction, run the other way.
Yeah,
Oh. Well, at least there was no list. I mean, there could have been.
there could have been.
There
But
could
you know
always
what?
be a list.
Yes.
I would love to hear the opposing arguments, to everything I just said. That people can email the show and
Yeah.
tell them,
Message us on Facebook.
tell Josh that
Absolutely.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Actually, you know what? Why don't you just call into our comment line? We have it's a brand new toll-free number. It is 877-567-2696. That's 877-567-2696. You can leave your comments. You might even hear yourself on the air. We need to take a break, but events from your neighborhood and around the world are coming up in just a couple minutes. Stay with us.
Compete Radio is on 1480 KPHX. Only GLBT Sports Radio show in the nation. Compete Radio.
Welcome back. Here's Eric with events from your neighborhood and around the world.
What a great day this is. I have such respect for Alfonso. That Pat Tillman race is awesome. In fact, I know a lot of people that ran that with you, Alfonso, were doing it here. They were doing it at their base and wherever they're from. I saw on the news that a lot of people were, they were running the 4 how many miles?
4.2 miles. It was his number was 42, so the theme came up a lot.
I gotta hand it to you. I just thinking about doing that makes me exhausted.
I was thinking about doing it, as I had told Alfonso a month earlier, because you can walk it too. But
Oh, I
even
didn't know
walking
that.
it,
That's,
when Alfonso described the route to me, oh my lord!
Yeah, isn't it exhausting
most
just to
people
think about?
we don't have mountains out here, but we do.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one nice thing about Phoenix, isn't it?
Yeah,
No matter where you live, you
It
get a
really
mountain.
is a valley.
Alfonso has a nickname when it comes to running. He's the fastest, fittest, fat person we know.
You gave him that nickname.
Actually, I didn't.
Apparently I wasn't, because I was only in the middle of the Clydesdale category. So, I thought I would place higher, but there was one guy that was in my category that finished it in 32 minutes, something like that.
Go Grease Lightning, you're running out a quarter of a mile. Grease Lightning, go
Yeah.
Grease Lightning.
If there is one
God.
comment I can make
Grease
about
will
that,
never be the same.
I would like to ask the walkers to stay out of the runners' corrals in next year's race.
I'm not going to do anything where they put me in a corral.
That doesn't
Makes me
sound
sound
like
like I'm
fun.
an animal.
Eric, was your Grease Lightning an attempt at a segue into a new event?
Not really. We have a couple great things coming up.
Okay.
I want to talk about an event you can see a lot. Buddy goes and watches sports at Roscoe's all the time. Roscoe's is our local sports bar here, and I'm going to try to talk Buddy into wearing his Compete T-shirt to Roscoe sometime.
I have.
Okay, and we're gonna think of a cool contest for the readers. If you guys see Buddy wearing a Compete T-shirt, we're gonna sell you a subscription for $19.95. So if you can spot Buddy at Roscoe's, you get $19.95.
Wow.
Did they get $19.95, like $19.95 from Buddy? Is that what's happening?
And then they only have to pay $1.298.
No, but there's some great. The reason I brought this up is because an event doesn't have to be something you plan. An event can be a Saturday when you just want to run out and watch your favorite sports show, right? Or a Sunday, and we walk our talk. I know that I know Buddy is really a sports fan, and
I crawl mine every once in a while.
I get to drive around and pass out the prizes in whatever the Compete Mobile is. So that's my
Oh,
fun part.
the infamous Compete Mobile.
Exactly.
I have to say one thing about this company here at Compete Sports Media.
Oh, no.
I have to say, a lot of gay events that happen around our country and the world are very sexually oriented. And one thing that I love about this company is if everything sex is just not your cup of tea, this company really offers a variety of things going on everywhere.
Now on to our jockstrap fundraiser.
I know that was the next.
That's what we're talking about now, by the way.
It's it's a sexy,
So
fun
tell us about that, Eric.
fundraiser.
We have 2 great Jocks for Jocks just coming up in the next couple of weeks. This weekend, which is tonight, we have the great Jocks for Jocks at Charlie's.
You really are talking about the jockstrap.
Yeah.
I am. That's what we're talking about. today.
This week.
Bite my tongue, huh?
You can come meet, the Compete Radio team, the Compete Magazine team, and you can help support the teams of Charlie's this weekend. It's going to be a great time. There's going to be a lot of sexy people there wearing jocks. That's hence the name Jocks for Jocks.
Made by the jockstrap queen, right?
Yes, made by the Jockstrap Queen.
Easy for you to say.
But then this is even more special. If you want to meet Michael Holtz, well, it's going to be kind of hard because it's a private Jocks for Jocks party. But Michael Holtz, our Athlete of the Year, is actually going to be working with Campus Pride in Charlotte, North Carolina, on May 7th. And they're going to be doing a big Jocks for Jocks blowout there, modeling all these hot, sexy jocks.
Is it Michael from California?
He is. He's actually going to fly. It's called a plane. You're not familiar with it.
He lives in California, but he's from Florida.
He has that cape from Mr. Gay World with the wings. He'll.
You guys are just saucy today, aren't you?
We're going to post, you know what, I think we're probably going to get lots of pictures of this Jocks for Jocks. So in the next couple of days on our Facebook page, I want y'all to go and take a look, and you guys can rate some of the people. And if we don't get any good photos, then just ignore what I just said.
Yeah. Now, but tell them too that this is a big fundraiser for all the teams that are out there. A lot of which Charlie supports, and some of the other gay bars support in the area. So it's a neat way for the teams to make some money.
I have a quick announcement about an event that involves absolutely nothing sexual, and that's my birthday that's coming up.
Ooh.
It's a milestone birthday for me in June, and I just wanted to give people the heads up.
Happy 60th.
16?
We're working on something special, so stay tuned for news on that.
Is it your centennial?
Oh, I get it, because I'm old.
All right. Eric, you're being punished after the show.
He's so excited.
That can be taken in very many ways.
Oh, Lord. Log on to
Retraining program.
Log on to CompeteRadio.com for news, information, hot topics, and more. Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Compete Radio is on 1480 KPHX. Log on to CompeteRadio.com for news, information, hot topics, and more.